everybody. So, welcome to another late night stream, and it's one more U-boat. Yeah, I'm continuing that stream into the week even because I am so anxious about finishing this mission and maybe finishing the whole Arctic Convoys mission set. Yeah, U-boat, it's the game where you slip into the role of a Second World War German submarine commander, and you can do that in a beautiful open world, wonderfully modeled. Yeah, gives you pretty high immersion, and you can do a consistent campaign from the very beginning of the war till the end. And that's what I'm doing here, and that's what I am streaming since, almost a year, I think. So I have been streaming just any mission I did since then. And yeah, because technically it seems like I'm not able to do double streaming to Twitch and YouTube at the same time. This is why I just for the records upload my streams uncut to YouTube. So welcome also you guys on YouTube. Nice. And thanks for watching. I pretty much appreciate you guys on Twitch joining me, chatting with me, being with me here in the live stream. So let's not talk too much in advance. I'm always almost 4 years into the war. We started the game in September 39 at the eve of the German raid on Poland and the beginning of the Second World War. And since then we went through all the months and years, and now it's almost 4 years of war. And the Allies have learned a lot, have gained better equipment, and have plenty of escorts with their convoys, which we want to hunt down. And it's really getting tough. So, without too much ado and not too much talk, front up, let's just sorry for that play of words. Let's just dive into this mission. And what we actually did was we infiltrated a convoy which was coming that way, and we nicely did it. We fired in total 9 torpedoes on 3 ships. 7 of them hit, and we already got accounted 2 sunk C3. Problem is there was also a T2 tanker which was going down, and we just don't get it for the records, obviously. So if we ask our hydrophone, there still seems to be a sinking ship somewhere there. This is actually where the sinking side of the tanker was, and now I want to sneakily get there and check whether I wouldn't get accounted for. Point is, we are almost through with the Arctic Convoys mission set. You see it's just 9,000 tons missing, less than 9,000 tons, and the 14 or 15,000 tons of the tanker actually would push us across the threshold. Planning is to finish that mission and then go through the Strait of Gibraltar to the Mediterranean. Actually, I never went to the Mediterranean before in the game. And yeah, let's see if we can manage that. Problem is that after we have sunk the 3 ships, of course the escort got pretty pissed off, and now we have, yeah, for times we had something like 12 ships circling above us trying to track us down, and now it's still 6 or 7 escort ships which are still chasing us, and they just don't give up. So let's see what the situation is. Air quality is pretty down to 50%. Battery capacity is alright, but let's see what about the water in the bilge. 130 liters. Well, could be worse, but also could be better. Yeah, we don't have leaks, it's just this kind of continuous seeping of water into the bilge when you're submerged and when you are running your engines. It's actually a problem of the drive shaft, which is not completely tight when it is turning. So you have some kind of sneaky leaks there. So we are down here now already since hours in game, and we are just not able to shake off the escort. So just at the end of the last stream we decided to kind of change our tactics and not just silently put ourselves to 200 meters, but now we are actively moving towards that suspected sinking side of the tanker. I'm really curious, want to inspect whether we got that guy down or not. Now we are being pinged again. Propellers coming close. Mr. Hinrich at the hydrophone. That guy is closing in. Stationary. That's a sinking ship. And yeah, pretty close, closing in. And that's the convoy. The convoy is continuing, and this is my hope that sooner or later the escort has to join the convoy, which is moving on and needs to leave me alone. But at the moment, it doesn't look like that. Yeah, let's do a little bit of a cinematic view to show you what the situation is above. Of course, this is a bit, getting out of the immersion, but for the sake of the stream and the sake of your viewers' overview, I think this is alright. So here we are. These guys are still chasing us, and we are somewhere down there. But at the moment it doesn't look like they are going straight for us. And this guy just passed by. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And maybe we are shaking them off. There are still a few escorts there. What is this? Yeah. And we can hope that they are, might be that they are going for another submarine. We actually at one point in time, an hour ago, we detected that there was another German submarine abroad, and it might be that they are chasing him. Problem is, if this is the case and they might sink him, they might still join their friends here again, going for us. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. 5, 6. There is. Yeah, come on. There's still 6 ships up there chasing us, and it doesn't look like they're giving up. Although they have dropped a lot of depth charges upon us already. So I don't know. Sooner or later they should run out of depth charges, but. Yeah, so many escorts, they have loads and loads of depth charges. And obviously they don't even think about joining their convoy, which is heading east. By the way, welcome to the stream. I see a few guys in the stream. Yeah, don't see who you are, just see the number going up. So perfectly fine if you just lurk and watch silently, but of course comments in the chat are always welcome. Yeah, we are pretty close now to that side where we did sink. Sinking wrecks, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if you are in this cinematic view, you can't go 90 degrees upwards, but you can only do that in a slant angle. So when we reach the surface, it's always a bit away from the submarine, but no, them, and they're somewhere in front of us. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. They are still chasing us. And somewhere there is the side where we did sink the tanker, but there is no lifeboats or something on the surface anymore. Oh shit. Maybe that was bugged and we don't get accounted for the tonnage of the tanker. Would be a bit of a pity. So now we are going up in the cinematic view upwards ahead of us. Let's see if this brings us some idea if there is any sign of the sunk tanker in front of us. There's nothing to be seen. Well, can't be helped. We are being pinged again. Guys, can't we get rid of you? Mr. Hinrich giving us a rough estimation of where they are. 2 ships there. Starboard astern. This one closing in. Wow. That looks pretty tough. Particularly this one. He might be passing right above us. right now. Be ready for anything. Mr. Grade, he's still ready at the engines, so that we can go flank speed any second. As soon as we hear something being dropped upon us. Yeah, their propeller, they're speeding up, and this is exactly what it sounds like when they have our position and go for the final run to drop depth charges. By the way, we have down here now, we are down to an efficiency of the pump of 12%. So it doesn't have much to turn on the pump down here. Yeah, we are on alarm. The crew is ordered to do silent running to avoid any noise. We have turned off the electric servo support of the dive planes. Gyro compass turned off. So except for that little bit of noise from the slowly running engine at silent running, there is no noise to be emitted. Maybe sooner or later we have to accept that we didn't get accounted for the sinking of the tanker, but well, let's see. Hydrophone. Okay, now we get the sinking. Let's do a new save, new stream, new save. W38.6. Let's accelerate time a bit. Okay, depth charges and some distance. That means or might indicate that they are going for another German submarine. We had a contact something like an hour ago, which probably was another German submarine. Maybe they are still chasing him. I mean, to be honest, better him than us, but yeah. Oh. Okay, what was that? Oh. that other submarine was sunk. Okay, so that's a little bit inconsistent because we already had that message that EU-73 was sunk, and now it's sunk again. Okay. Yeah, but they don't know, so they are still dropping. We heard that they were crushed, but obviously up there they didn't, and so they continue dropping. I just want to have that message there that we sank that tanker, but no, we don't get it. Okay, let's stop dead silent and see what's gonna happen. This is really the toughest chase that I ever had. Usually sooner or later they give up because they run out of depth charges or because they have to go back to the convoy that they are protecting. The convoy is moving on, regardless what happens. So having all these escorts here actually leaves that convoy relatively unprotected. And as the game is pretty complex, it might well be that other submarines will attack that convoy. And yeah, then they might drag away the escort from us. Yeah, the game is actually that complex. So the missions are definitely not scripted or something, but they just develop out of the situation. You have convoys moving on the map, and I have to find them with hydrophone checks or by whatever means. And they are following their natural courses, and then we have to intercept them, snake into the convoys, and attack. And there is always also some chance that you run into other German submarines. You can't directly contact them, but they are actually around. Now and then. Yeah, we are really running short on breathable air. Air quality is down below 50%. Yeah, discipline is below 90%, but we are still not yet having panic or strain and stress in the crew, so they are pretty disciplined. But they are positive because we sank these two guys, or three. lots of things going on there. And they're just not giving up the chase. Yeah, there is some ships passing by pretty close above us. But obviously they don't detect us. We stopped the engines. We are just silently floating down here at roughly 180 meters under the sea level. Okay, there are... Oh, wow. Nice. Nice. There are still a few lifeboats there. So now I went ahead. So this is a bit ahead of us and there are lifeboats. So this is probably the site where we did sink the tankers. So there is still a good chance that when we get back to the surface, or at periscope depth at least, and spot that sinking site, that then finally we would get accounted for the kill. Okay, this was actually the indication that I was looking for all the time. I did not find these, but there we are. Nice. That's positive. So Colin actually remarked in the YouTube chat that it might be a bug, and I agree, and I'm still not 100% sure that it's not a bug, but to see that the lifeboats are still around actually gives me some hope that we might be able to get the kill of the 14,000 tons tanker accounted for. Yeah, but the bad news is that there is still 1, 2, 3, 4 ships pretty close. 5, 6 coming in. Yeah, we still have 6 escorts on our tails. Although the whole convoy is far gone to the east already, these guys are still chasing us. And there is this other bunch of ships here which were chasing my colleague, and if they find out that they have sunk that other German submarine, they might well come and join the chase here of their pals chasing me. Yeah, at least the lifeboats are there. They should be evidence that we sank the tanker. Yeah, but we are really running into trouble. So there is 2 things. Oh yeah, no. Are they dropping? So when they are passing by right above us, there is so much noise that they can't hear us. ventilation on, pump on. Yeah, we are getting some water out. Just a bit, because the efficiency of the pump is very bad down here. We have to work against all that pressure of 180 meters of water. But still, now air quality is going up. Now that we have the ventilation on, pressing our air through the potassium absorbers. Yeah, they're passing by up there. They can't hear us, I hope. I hope that their own propeller noises are camouflaging our hurly-burly. Are running the pump. We are running the ventilation. That's a hell lot of noise. That's actually the risk. Yeah, but we need to have the ventilation on, and we need to get some water out of the bilge. It's slow, but it works.
175 Meter. Tauchen auf 165 Meter.
If we get a little bit up, we could increase the efficiency of the pump, actually. Ah, come on, there is so much noise up there. They can't detect us with all these propellers of the escorts. Whipping the sea. Air quality is going up, but this uses up a lot of potassium absorbers. Sooner or later we are gonna run out of potassium absorbers, and sooner or later we are gonna run out of coffee. Our crew, the officers, are really getting tired after all these hours on battle station down here. Yeah, you get a cup of coffee. He is devouring a lot of coffee, actually. And now, please, back to the engines. Yeah, you see the depth keeping is pretty bad. We actually overshot my orders. Yeah, that's actually due to the fact that we had the dive planes on manual and don't have the electric servo support. That's to keep things silent. Of course, at the moment that wouldn't make a difference because we are making a hell lot of noise. Air quality to 70%. Okay, somebody please turn off the ventilation. That's enough. Who's gonna do that? Mr. Weber, where are you?
Gegen diese Jäger.
They are passing by right above us. Guys, turn off. Turn the ventilation off, please. Yeah, okay, turned off. Very good now. Wow, hear all that noise going on above us. But at least we went above 75% of air quality. And we got all the water out of the bilge. That's good.
Tauchen auf 180 Meter.
Yeah, let's get a little bit deeper again. Yeah, we are not diving dynamically, we are just diving, how would you call it, statically? So by pushing air into some trim tanks and letting water in again, and that is very imprecise. And I love to see that the game actually heeds that, how imprecise we are at the moment. When you go with a fair speed forward through the water like halbe Fahrt,
160 Meter.
you can keep your depth perfectly with the depth steers, but right now when we are just floating, of course the depth steers are more or less useless, and we have to do it all with the trim tanks. Only thing that I think is not yet heated is that all this change of depth should take a bit of compressed air whenever you flood trim tanks and blow them again. Right now we are going down, which means that the crew has flooded a few trim tanks, and to stop the sinking they actually, in real life, they would have to push some compressed air into the trim tanks to stop the sinking. And I think there is a lot of beautiful things, complex things in the game, but I think this effect is not heated. So let's look at that. Compressed air pressure is 204. And when the bolt is leveled out at 180 meters, this should slightly reduce the compressed air pressure. But I think this tiny detail is not heated in the game yet. Would be nice if they would put it into the game. And they're up to something like that. These guys are really up to physics and all the diving techniques. They have put so much stuff into the simulation that I wouldn't be astonished if they would sooner or later bring an update and have that heated just as well. And again we have propellers coming in fast upon us up there. But I'm still relatively confident that they either don't have any idea where we are, or that they just have run out of depth charges. But if they had run out of depth charges, why don't they turn back to their convoy or back to a home port? Come on, after all these hours, you could just leave me alone. Let's take a little cinematic view again. I don't know, it doesn't quite look like they're giving up. Maybe. This guy looks like he's going straight after the convoy, so maybe we are witnessing here one of the escorts giving up the chase and returning to escort the convoy. That would be great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left only. Maybe. That would be an indication that things actually work.
170 Meter.
That the mechanics actually work. Maybe. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But right now, this really looks like they are giving up. This guy still looks like he's circling a bit. The others have their course straight towards the convoy. So maybe. Let's keep fingers crossed. Okay, and there is the wrecks. Shipwreck side. The lifeboats which remained from the tanker that it did sink. Let's hope that we can use them as evidence that we actually did sink it and get the tonnage accounted for. Oh boys, that would be so good if they gave up the chase and are returning. There is only this corvette which is turning around again. Let's just hope that she's not getting pings on us. Maybe they're leaving. So please, this one corvette, turn around and follow the convoy just as well. I couldn't believe it. After all these hours, I thought that they would follow me endlessly. Yeah, of course, you always think that it might be a bug or that it maybe is not simulated realistically, but the depth of the realism of this simulation is really amazing. So right now we are obviously witnessing that these escorts were very tough on getting me, hunting me down, and now finally are giving up and are remembering their primary target, primary objective, to protect the convoy, which has been going on all the time to the east, northeast. Oh, you guy, you are worrying me. Let's just hope that this guy is not making everything to start from the very beginning. So if this guy is gonna give me a ping, it might well be the reason for the other 4 guys to return.
Das wird nicht einfach. Aber wir haben schon Schlimmeres überstanden.
No,
Lasst uns ruhig bleiben.
that was exactly what I didn't want to experience. Let's just hope that this doesn't make the others turn around. But it might well do. Okay, there is this guy who got a ping on us again, and now let's see. Oh no, this guy seems to be turning around. This guy at least seems to be turning around. Maybe the others are continuing. They were already giving up the chase, and this single guy went back and got a ping on us. Ah, come on, please. Okay, that guy is going straight onward. This guy as well. So there is at least two of them who seem to be unimpressed. What about you? Maybe this guy is turning around to follow us? No. So at the moment it only looks like that this is the only guy who turned around, and the others are still determined to follow the convoy. There on the horizon we only see the smoke columns from here now. Yeah, alright, so if we are lucky, this reduces the guys who are chasing us to 2 from 6 from formerly 12. So it looks like we are improving. And these guys might run out of depth charge soon. And no pings since a while, so maybe they are losing our contact. I just want to be left alone. I just want to get back to the surface and check the lifeboats and hope that we get the 14,000 tons of the tanker accounted for. Yeah, by the way, we used a lot of potassium absorbers. So let's transfer them, more of them, to the ventilation system from the cargo hold. Yeah, well, we are only 1 hour into the stream. So, if you guys watching, nice to have you in. So don't feel observed. I don't see your names or anything. I just see the number of people. And that's pretty satisfying from my point of view. So thank you guys for watching. Perfectly fine if you just watch and lurk, but of course I'm always glad to get a little bit of feedback. Just give a hi in the chat, or even, yeah, do comment on, do you play the game by yourself, what's your experience, what do you think about the stream. But yeah, don't feel pushed, just watch if you like to watch. And of course, a follow is always welcomed if you like what you see. But yeah, as I said, don't feel pushed if you like to just watch. I'm always glad to see that there are few people in the stream. I'm just a small, tiny streamer. And yeah, greatest thing is this experience to have a chat with people from all over the world, but second greatest experience is to just see that people care and watch what I do here in this very amazing game. I would call it actually the best submarine simulation ever. By just a small studio. That's so amazing. And I pretty much love this. I mean, if you look back into the last years, there were a lot of examples where small studios actually came up with great games, and large, well-established studios just delivered crap. We have there more ships spotted. No reporting of the sunk tanker. Hey, Colin, good evening, nice to have you in. So I have news about our tanker. So I went here, and when I went into the cinematic view, I actually spotted the lifeboats of the tanker. So I'm still a bit confident that if I go back to the surface later, when things had quietened down around, that I might get accounted for the kill when I identify the lifeboats. And they are up there. I spotted them in the cinematic view. But we will see. I mean, what you thought that it might be a bug might well turn out to be true. But fingers crossed that you're wrong and that we actually still have a chance to get the tonnage for the tanker. And I'm positive. I think it might work. Yeah, by the way, how are you? How was your Tuesday? Yeah, and at the moment it looks like that the escorts are more or less starting to abandon us. Let's get into the cinematic view once. And it really looked like that part of these guys who are chasing us were going back to the convoy. Yeah, the propeller noise is reducing. It's still there, but... Okay, this guy is still around. And this guy, it's only this guy. And the others... Yeah, that's good news. So there were so many escorts circling, and yeah, look at them. They decided to finally follow their convoy. And this, yeah, underlines this realism of the game. That the algorithms are pretty good. So now, after they have chased us for several hours, they finally give up and have to pursue their primary job to escort and protect that convoy. And only one single guy staying back. Yeah, but he will give up soon just as well. And somewhere around here is a little bunch of lifeboats. I saw it, but yeah, at the moment I don't have it, but it's there. And that's the lifeboats remaining from the sinking of the tanker. Yeah, the weather is actually deteriorating a bit. It's starting to snow. Here, yeah, that's the lifeboats. That's actually the lifeboats of the tanker. 1, 2, and there is a third. Yep. And the sun being so low above the horizon. Yeah, looks like our plan is coming together. So which ones were it? Who was playing? In the football matches? By the way, Colin, you said no propeller noise, but you still hear that in the stream, don't you? That there is a bit of a propeller noise in the background. I would be worried if you wouldn't hear that in the stream. Ivory Coast. Okay.
Schraubengeräusche direkt über uns.
They are pinging us, but as long as they are not dropping depth charges. Oh, Ivory Coast won. I'm sorry. Yeah, what about the national football team of Scotland? Isn't it that there is just two teams? I mean, half of the national team coming from Celtic and the other half coming from Rangers. I just remember one other team of the Scottish League, which was the Hearts of Midlothian. But I think it was always clear that it was Glasgow, Celtic, and Rangers dominating the league, right? Wow, I'm so relieved to have seen that most of these escorts now are calling it a day and leaving us alone. I really wasn't sure anymore if it would work like that, but yeah, you can rely on the simulation doing realistic moves. In Italy's, okay. Hey, come on, guy, don't you have any friends to join? Just doesn't make sense what you do here. Leave me alone. And maybe he is leaving me alone at the moment. Yeah, but no, it looks like he's turning again. Mr. Hinrich. Noise stationary. So where is that escort? Okay, all right. So I'm completely wrong with that, actually. Only one Celtic and one Rangers player. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that the Celtic and the Rangers, but yeah, probably they are not Scottish, are they? So probably most of the players of Celtic and Rangers are bought in and not from Scotland, right? Yeah, I always have that feeling that it's a bit of kind of a statistics. I mean, there is a certain probability that if you have some amount of people, that there are good football players among them. And if you are a country of 80 million people, there is a higher probability that you have good football players among them than if you are a nation of 20 million people. So what's the population of the UK? I think it's something like 60 million, isn't it? And I don't dare a guess about the population of Scotland. What would it be? 15 million people in Scotland? Or 20, something like that. That would be my guess. I hope that I'm not insulting you Scottish people with that guess. Well, when Chapman Billies leave the street and rotty neighbors meet, when tech. Okay, it's even only 5 million, yeah. So, well, this is kind of my pragmatic point of view. If you have 5 million people, there's just from bare statistics less good football players in it than absolutely less good football players than if you have a nation of 80 million people. We are still being pinged. Want to get rid of these guys. It's closing in again. I was hoping that we might get rid of the guy. But it looks like he turned around and is coming back. Yeah, okay, 60 to 70, so I wasn't too wrong with that guess. I just was pretty wrong with the guess of Scottish population, yep. Yeah, so I mean, if you look at that, you can say that the UK population is in the order of magnitude of the German population. So what's the French? I would guess that the French then would be something like 80 million. That's the big nations in Europe, isn't it? I mean, it's UK, France, and Germany. Yeah, I purposely don't say great nations, I just say big nations by numbers. because I don't feel very well comfortable with the term of calling your own nation being great. At least in Germany we had pretty bad experience with people who were too convinced of the greatness of their own nation. Yeah, UK, France, Germany, Italy. Italy, maybe 50 million. It's just guessing, but yeah. And Spain, maybe similar to Italy. But now that would be my guess that maybe the largest countries by population would be France, Germany, and the UK. By the way, allow me to be AFK just for 1 minute. I think we can afford to keep it going and not pause it. Be back in a minute. All right. Okay. Yeah, yep. And so I would guess that Spain and Italy is less, right? Probably something like 50 million each. Oh, this guy is... Yeah, disgusting. We don't get rid of that guy. He's still moving around. But luckily the other guys, there is just this single ship left. I feel tempted to get to periscope depth and shoot him with a sound-seeking torpedo, but my fear would be that this would attract the other guys again. So let's stay put. And sooner or later we are gonna ball that guy away just as well. Just him. Just him. Come on, guy. Give it up. Leave us alone. And the sun is really dipping now. Yeah, it's getting later in the year. So, maybe, yeah, maybe the sun would even vanish. Let's see, at 12 o'clock. Okay, Italy almost 50 million. Spain 50 million. And okay, Italy is 60 million. Yeah, okay. So Italy is not that far away. Yep. Yeah, I think these are the largest by inhabitants. Or did I forget any important country? Of course, I forgot a lot of important countries, but what I meant is, did I forget any other country with in this range of population? I think the other countries are considerably smaller. If that guy would just leave me alone. The others have long given up the chase, which is good. So now the patience game is going on, but we are fine. We have air quality of 70%. Discipline is still way above 80%. No strain and stress. And the battery capacity is fine, so we could wait it out down here for a bit more. Let's give it a save. That's the one. Come on, fingers crossed that this guy's giving it up and getting back home or towards his convoy. Yeah, the weather is deteriorating up there. I should give another cup of coffee to Mr. Hinrich and Mr. Grade, actually. Mr. Hinrich and Mr. Grade. So this time I am really making use of my coffee storages like I never did before. Yeah, Colin, I mean, I think we are both not 20 years anymore. So, like, when we are talking about nations and their sizes, well, I still have an encyclopedia up there where I would have looked this up 20 years ago, but yeah, nowadays you just get all these informations from the internet, right? Yeah, I still have this 12 volumes of encyclopedia up there, and yeah, it was a present of my father when I graduated. Well, no, not quite. Actually, it was. Let me think. It was, yeah, when I did my PhD, actually. But still a present of my father. And I still have that encyclopedia up there in the bookshelf, but, well, everything that you see there you could look up in the internet. So, to be honest, I don't make much use of it anymore. Yeah, now the sun is going down. I would be curious whether the sun by now would actually completely vanish at 12 o'clock at night. Yeah, things have changed actually over the last 30 years. Yeah, but that's just a saying of an old guy. Of course, things change over 30 years. And it's good that they do change. Hey, where is the guy? I don't see him anymore. Did he leave me alone? Hey, pretty much looks like that. Looks like the guys have left me alone. This is north. So do I still see smoke column in the east? No, not really. There is a bit of smoke column. And maybe, yeah, the guy gave up. Hey, Uncle Bot. That's great. Thanks for the raid. That's very much appreciated. So, what have you been streaming right now? Yeah, everything is well. So, we have been chased by an escort of something like 12 ships since 2 streams and just didn't get away, and now they're giving up. This is actually the last ship of the escorts, and they are now following their convoy. And so you drop in a moment of great relief when we finally seem to be free again. We have been down under the surface for something like 6 or 7 hours, I think, in game. And now we got finally rid of the guys. Very good. So what have you been streaming before you came in, Uncle Bot? Mehr Fortnite, yeah, more Fortnite. I'm always kind of amazed by the name Fortnite. Do you use that in American English? I mean, in British English, this is pretty much in use. I remember that. A fortnight. See you in a fortnight. Meaning see you in 2 weeks. That was pretty common. Is it that common in US English just as well? Or is it kind of more obsolete? So I was really wondering how they made up that name. Yeah, Colin, it felt like 6 or 7 days. Yeah, right. In English, it's fortnight. Different spelling, but yeah, well, it's like donuts, right? I mean, the US spelling of donuts is quite different to the British spelling of donuts, and so for fortnight. But it's a common word, isn't it? Yeah, I think we did actually have 2.5 streams, which were just about getting away from this escort. Yeah, but so I was wondering whether this word of fortnight, if it is also being actually used in US English. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, that was actually what I was asking for. Well, from my time when I spent some time in the UK, particularly in Scotland, I remember that people used that word fortnight pretty straightforward, and it was not considered posh or snobby. So now it's like in German we would say, es ist die Stunde der Wahrheit, the hour of truth. Let's see if we get accounted for the kill of the tanker when we get to the surface. Let's slowly go back to periscope depth and see if we get eyes on this bunch of refugees from the sinking tanker. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Fortnite is American spelling. Oh, okay, sorry. Okay. Uncle Bot. Sorry, all right. So, for an educated American, you would still spell it with the G and H and everything, yeah?
155.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I usually pretend to use British English, but
130
I
Meter.
think often I just can't distinguish. There are some details which are not, I am not known of. It's like like donuts and Fortnite I know about, but probably there is a lot more of traps to fall in,
150
which
Meter.
I don't know.
Einhundertfünf Meter.
Yeah, Jimbo isn't in, is he? So I remember the first time Uncle bought that you and Jimbo were in my stream. You were starting a
90 Meter.
quarrel about UK and British and US English. Ford, okay.
70
Yeah, you
Meter.
can. I never played Fortnite actually, but I know that you can create walls and things pretty quickly.
Aktuelle Tiefe 55 Meter.
Aluminum. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Colin, right.
45
They
Meter.
don't say aluminium, but they say aluminum, right? Yep. And I have to admit that I think I have adopted that. So if you would catch me unprepared, I would probably also say aluminum and not aluminium. Hey, weight loss, good evening. That's great to have you in. So, we are just having a little discussion about British and US English, with Colin being from Scotland and Uncle Bod from the US. Yeah, great. Great that you dropped in. So, we're just about getting rid of that escort. So, for about 2 streams and in game something like 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, they were really giving us a hard time, but right now it looks like the escort does what it is supposed to do. It's going back to the merchantman convoy and leaving us alone. And now, everybody, please, fingers crossed that when we get back to the surface, that we get accounted for this sinking of the tanker. Wow. The weather is quickly deteriorating up there.
Tauchen auf 20 Meter.
We should be pretty close to the sinking side of the tanker.
Aktuelle Tiefe 40 Meter.
Yeah, Uncle Bod, I would never have thought that you were.
25 Meter.
Okay, let's see. Ship spotted. And the wreckage. We seem to be close to the wreckage finally.
15 Meter. Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
So guys, go for periscope depth, please. But before we check the surface, I'll be AFK just for 1 minute.
Herr Kaloin, wir sind auf Seerohrtiefe. Boot für Rundblick eingesteuert.
Alright, now I am very curious, very anxious if we could get that kill. Oh, what do we have there? Nope, just waves. Just waves and the setting sun. Let's see, do we still get eyes on any enemies? Yeah, there's smoke columns, but they're far, far away. No, that's really the question now. Do I dare to get back to the surface? Let's keep it safe and try. Oh, what about the hydrophone check? Okay, all the contacts are pretty far away. So, stop alarm, stop silent running. Let's go back to ordinary routine. Okay, guys, after all that time, that's been a long time that they forced us to be submerged. Oh, nice. Where do you get these emojis from? Okay, all right. And again, let's save. And come on, let's just get to the surface now.
Vorfluten.
Maybe first take a wash.
5 Meter.
Herr Kapitän?
Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Where is the wreckage? Come on. Show me target is too far.
Kurs auf Dieselmotoren.
I just hope that we didn't lose these contacts.
Herr Kaloi, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Yep, you're right. Come on, blow the tanks. Where are the lifeboats? Come on. They were there, somewhere around. I had them.
Herr Kaloi?
Can't be just one single ship. Well, that's just too bad. Now I'm not finding them anymore. But they must be very close.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloi?
Oh no. I'm losing eyes on the wreckage.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
Okay.
Alle Maschinen.
All right, now we got that accounted for. Very good. That was exactly that we were looking for. Now. So look at the overall mission. And here we are. We have sunk 25,006, no, 256,000 tons. So we did manage to fulfill this mission. Now we just have to get back home. And it pretty much looks like we have done the Arctic Convoys. Very good. All right, guys. I'm so relieved that finally we got accounted for. That kill.
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
Let's get back home.
Navigation besetzen.
Let's get back home. Yeah, another milk cow. So the reward is pretty lame, actually. I already have sufficient milk cows. I don't really need another one. That's a problem of the game in the late game phase. That the rewards are not so great.
Funkraum besetzen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Funktelegramm gesendet.
Navigation besetzen.
Yeah, pretty tough weather.
Rohr 2 geladen. Rohr 1 geladen. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Ich kümmere mich darum.
Nice. I think we finally got it. We finally got the Arctic Convoys mission done. Let's get back home. 2 o'clock, change of watch.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Natürlich, Herr Kapitän.
And on we go on our way back home.
Endlich ein paar Stunden Pause.
6 o'clock. Again.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Two o'clock.
Etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Natürlich, Herr Kaloy.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Yeah, Bergen is our port of call.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Bestätige.
Yeah, it's a bit of a chore to get back home, but yeah, this is a nice success.
Etwas Unterstützung.
Betrachten wir es als erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Natürlich. Navigation besetzen.
On and on we go. The road goes ever on and on, down from the door where it begun. Yes, that would be right. Yeah, typical now. Coming into an air raid. Just entering port. Yeah. Are you maybe thinking about the iconic movie Das Boot and how it finally did end? But we still have the here. Okay, hey, scrolling. Yeah, we still have the passage through the Strait of Gibraltar in front of us. So this is the next mission that I would like to do.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Let's hope that it's not going to turn out as disastrous as it was in the movie.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
By the way, let's check the stores. Oh, hey, we have that stuff on the... I wasn't aware that I was actually taking that on board. Okay, let's pick that up. Yeah, we are on the way back home. Mr. Schultz picking up the pork. Wasn't aware that I took that on board. So please transfer it to the galley or the stores. There he comes. All right.
Navigation besetzen.
10 o'clock, change of watch.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Torpedorohr 5 gewartet.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
Torpedorohr 5 gewartet.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Natürlich, Herr Kaloy.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Natürlich, Herr Kaloy.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloy.
Okay, we are coming back home. I'm curious how the reward would actually look like.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Herr Kaloy, wir befinden uns in flachen Gewässern.
Yeah, here we are. Give it another save. Like Colin, like you said. You never know. Might well be that we run into an air raid while we try to get back home. Oh, how nice. The moon almost full, just above the horizon. And we definitely don't have midnight sun anymore. It's 10 past midnight. Okay, there is a bit of still a shimmer of light above the northern horizon, but the sun definitely dropped down below the horizon. So it's approaching mid-August and we have been returning further south, so no midnight sun anymore.
Herr Kaloy, wir befinden uns in flachen Gewässern.
Yeah, I know. And I'll be AFK just for a few more minutes. Yeah, mid of August. Yeah, just about returning home. Having finished the Arctic Convoys. Oops, sorry guys. Yeah, I don't know. Might be that I'm just about getting a cold. Did have a bit of a headache today, but I thought it was maybe just because I didn't drink enough. Yeah, getting dehydrated. So it's 1 o'clock. Beautiful. There we are approaching the beautiful old town of Bergen.
Kleine Fahrt, voraus.
And it looks like we are lucky we are not running into an air raid, obviously. And we can just be curious about...
Kurs setzen.
There we are. Alright, back home. Give it a save. Let's call it a new name, W387. And let's see what our leading officer says for having completed the mission. Okay, Siegfried Ahlers, he's our first mechanic. He gains some points. Helped the other U-boat. Mr. Grade, our chief engineer, also helped the other U-boat. Mr. Schulz, our first, our bosun actually. And Captain Sinking Isaac Hopkins. Wow. And we got that done. Congratulations, Skipper. Your mission to disrupt military shipping to the USSR was a resounding success. Your skill and bravery as a U-boat captain allowed you to sink several enemy vessels. Well, several. That's a bit of an understatement, isn't it? Slowing the flow of supplies to the Soviet Union. Your efforts have no doubt helped to pave the way for a victory on the Eastern Front. Yeah, for sure. The involved military commanders are grateful for your contribution, and the U-boat command is proud of your achievements. Well done. Okay, that convoy was attacked. And wow, we sank a tonnage of 30,500 tons. 2 C3 and 1 T2. Nice. Yeah. Here we are. Cruise experience has been increased. Let's give it another save. Nice. Alright, so I think this is a good ending for the stream. So this time it's only 2 hours. Yeah, it's fine. It's 2:30 or 2:20, which is of course pretty late. We all have to work tomorrow. So let's call it a day. It was a pleasure to have you. I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna stream tomorrow. I have to get up relatively early on Thursday morning, so let's see. But definitely I'm gonna do my Thursday night stream, and for tomorrow we will see whether I will be online or not. Not quite sure yet. Yeah, thank you guys again for the nice conversation. Colin, like usual. And Uncle Bot, it was great that you dropped in with the raid. Pleasure to have you. And Weight Loss, you also joined. I'm not quite sure if you're still there. If you are, have a good night. So guys, see you then. Bye bye.